Hi, these comments are for DS, and I am Michael from OTC, OnlineTOEFLCourse.com. You're one of my online TOEFL course students, and you're working on a writing practice test. And I know you didn't pay for this service, but I'm going to help you out a little bit here. I think it's important to help you a little bit with your writing today, so pay close attention. All right, so I'm looking at the essay here. So it's a pretty good essay, but I'm still not convinced it would score over 22. I'm going to put you at 3.5 out of 5, 22 points out of 30. Now, if you look over at the rubrics here, I think displays unity, progression, and coherence, though connection of ideas may be occasionally obscured. So I think that you can improve a little bit with the organization of the essay. You have addresses a topic and task using somewhat developed explanations, examples, and details. So yeah, somewhat means it's not developed enough. Okay, so let me show you one example of something that you can do that can help. Let me give myself some more space to work with here. Okay, so it's this second paragraph. You have a very developed third paragraph, but even this paragraph, if you look at it, it says working individual is boring while working as a team requires interaction. That's not a great topic sentence because you got two different things here. You say, for this reason, people working in a group will boost the cognitive abilities of the employees, which to me, that's a third topic. And they'll be able to do the job. For instance, I spent time, he dealt based, I think people work together will achieve superb results and have fantastic mood in their lives. There's no unifying element to this paragraph. There really isn't. You have just too many different things going on here. So there's nothing that coheres it, that keeps it as one idea. And the other problem is, this is a very common problem, you don't really have a thesis. You say, I'm in favor of the idea that to achieve we should work as a team. The following will explain why to succeed, teamwork is better than individual work. But so you have this idea, which is fine, but you don't really have a specific example to support it, and you don't really have a second reason here. So you need to go back to the basics. You need a thesis in the introduction. The thesis states the key ideas of the essay. And the first part of your thesis would be, teamwork is better than individual work because it helps to save time, and then you need your second support point, which you don't really have. Now, if you say, and it boosts the cognitive abilities of the employees, that's fine. You can list that as a point, but the only thing you can do there is to show how working together is better for the brain, and it requires more interaction in the brain or whatever, and that's going to be more beneficial. Okay, now I want to help you with this paragraph. So you say, if all the employees are united, the task will become easier to act in a short period, right? So I'm going to show you what you could do to develop this one paragraph more. This is just an example of how you can do this. Okay, so it says here, I'm changing, and what I'm doing is I'm adding an example. You already talked about your brother in another paragraph, and that's great, right? So let's also talk about him here. Why not? That shows depth and progression of ideas. So you could use your brother and your brother's company as an example in both paragraphs. So we say teamwork will allow people to save more time, which means they can focus on how accurate their work is. Many employees who work in big companies try to be professionals in front of their managers. The managers give them tons of missions to perform to meet the company's requirements and achieve their goals. If all the employees are united with each other, the considerable task will become easier to act in a short period. But you're just going to keep on talking in general terms, but that's not what you want to do. So here's what you want to do. For example, at my brother's phone company in North Carolina, he had a rush of more than 23 customers who came in to get their phones repaired and to purchase phone accessories. Fortunately, my brother had already brought in 5 additional workers for that day, so each worker was able to help 4 to 5 of these customers. Had my brother been working alone, it would have taken him more than 7 hours to service these customers. Therefore, I believe that indeed when people work as a team, they will save time. Right? So this example here helps to illustrate this point that you've made here. Right? But here you have working individually is boring, while working as a team requires interaction. But there's just nothing in the paragraph that really illustrates those ideas. So this is an example of how to take 93 words for what you wrote and then change it to 168. So we're taking here about 75 words to develop the point you're making in the paragraph with a specific example, and that's going to show the depth and progression of thought that the IBT human raters are looking for, right? So that's going to strengthen this paragraph, but this paragraph, I would just delete it and start over. Start from scratch, right? You need to start with a topic sentence, and the topic sentence needs to restate one of the points that are made in the thesis. All right, so those are my suggestions.